Welcome to episode 34 of the 24-Hour Hustle Show, and today we got special guest, film director and entrepreneur, Jay White. Welcome to the 24-Hour Hustle Show. I'm your host, Anthony Freeze, and this is the show where we get the opportunity to sit down with accomplished guests and find out how they're maximizing on their 24 hours and also get a chance to hear their stories, their struggles, and also their success. If this is the first time you're finding out about us, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell to get these notifications every Friday at 12 p.m. But today, we got my man Jay White in the building. You've been doing a lot of great things. I've covered and seen a lot of the stuff that you're doing on social media with film and video, and you got a lot of things happening. Also been recommended to come onto the show from a lot of other people that have been on, so it's definitely a great honor and a privilege to have you on, so welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. It's an honor to be here, man.
Appreciate it. So, so like we do on every episode, for people who may not know who you are yet, give us your name, your background, and some of the things that you're doing, and tell us a little bit about your story.
My name is Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know me as Rough Bone.
Gotcha.
I'm a film director. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father. I'm a man that loves God. I'm a community man. I'm a friend. I'm an investor.
Okay, that's important. A lot of people are not in the community.
I'm a thinker. I just try to focus on everything that's kind of positive and stuff that's going to help me move forward. So,
well, that's good stuff.
But I'm known more as a film director, with dealing with cameras and then, majority of the rest of the stuff outside of being a father, because I got 7 children. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting in work. Give us a little bit of, your story, kind of like your upbringing and what inspired you to get to the point of getting into the video and becoming a film director.
When I was young, my granddad always had like cameras, but he had the old school big ones, man, with the VCR tapes in them.
Okay.
So my granddad,
the ones you literally got up on your shoulder.
My granddad, he would like take trips to Africa. He would do missionary. He's 81 now. He's still living.
Mm-hmm.
He would travel to Africa, and he would take his camera and do missionary work, and he would film it and stuff like that. So I always was kind of intrigued by cameras, but I didn't never really think of it like that. I would always, when I was younger, I would sometimes like to watch documentaries more than movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always intrigued with people's stories and stuff like that. And one time I just ended up with a camera. I don't know where I got a camera from. I had a little mini camera, like a mini camera with a high 8 tape in it. And I was just going around my neighborhood. I didn't know nothing about computers, editing programs, or nothing like that. I would just go around my neighborhoods and just film people just doing stuff in the hood, just having fun. And I would have big cookouts, and I would film them, just to capture the moment. And I just kind of it was cameras is pretty cool, you know what I mean? But what really got me all the way interested in it and started taking it serious, at the time I was rapping. And I was I had a lot of music and stuff like that. And I was man, a lot of people I know don't have videos. So I reached out to a guy to shoot some videos for me, Chris Avi. Chris Avi did a documentary around here called about the gentrification of East Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
He shot it probably about 7-8 years ago, but he did a nice documentary. And I reached out to him. I didn't really know nobody who shot videos besides him and DJ Schizo. And Schizo, he was kind of busy. He had a lot going on. So Chris Avi, I was man, how much you want to shoot a video?
Mm-hmm.
He was $3,500. I was whoo! And at the time, this is early 2000s. Nobody didn't really So I was all right, cool. So I end up convincing him to shoot the video for me and then shoot another video, but just not with a lot of scenes in it. So I paid him to shoot these videos, and I'm man, this was a lot of money for some videos. And I'm this camera dudes make some money. What I mean? I didn't really know what they made and stuff like that. So make a long story short, I moved to North Carolina, and I had my 2 rap videos. And I had a little mini DV camera I just had sitting around. And I said, like, I was like, man, what I'm gonna do with these 2 videos? And at the time, like, YouTube and all that wasn't really popping. Like,
right.
it wasn't like everybody wasn't online and stuff like that. Like, MySpace was, you know, starting to come about and stuff like that. And I was in North Carolina, and I was like, what I'm gonna do with these 2 videos? And I was like, man, maybe I could just go to my neighborhood and like film people and do like a little documentary. Because one of my friends did a documentary. My boy Han, he got a web series called Transitions. He's from Pittsburgh, but he lives in DC. And he did a documentary called Overdose. It was like hood, but he went to Houston. He came to Pittsburgh. He went to like different cities. So it kind of inspired me, like, man, I should do like a documentary for my neighborhood in Pittsburgh, in Belsuver. I'm from Belsuver. So I was like, all right. So I went back to my neighborhood, you know, and I would start filming stuff in the hood and stuff like that with my little mini DV camera. And I didn't know nothing about editing programs or nothing like that. So I was like, well, I don't know how I'm going to really put this together. You know, just all this footage. I'm going to have to put it on, you know, a DVD or something, or put it on a tape or something.
Right.
And my boy, he had like downloaded an illegal program. This was like when LimeWire was popping.
Man,
like,
taking it back.
Yeah. So he was like, man, I got this program called Sony Vegas. I was like, what is that? You know, he's like, it's an editing program. So he's like, I don't know how to work it or nothing. He's like, I'll download it for you. Then we can start like editing stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. So he's the only thing I learned how to do is you hit Control-C and that's how you cut between the audio and video clip. And that's all he knew. So me and him didn't know nothing. So I was like, all right. So make a long story short, I started filming my neighborhood, and I was filming a lot of footage. And I said, man, what if I could go through the whole Pittsburgh and film in different neighborhoods and make like a whole Pittsburgh documentary like about the neighborhoods. And that's kind of like how it started. And at first I was skeptical. I was like, man, this is at the time when Pittsburgh was still like gang banging, kind of like dudes was still wearing colors and stuff. So it was like, I was like, I'm from Belsuver. I don't really see myself going through some of these neighborhoods. Not that I had any personal beef with people, but you know, just how, you know, the neighborhoods was at the time. So I just started reaching out to people from different neighborhoods. I had made a flyer. I was like, Pittsburgh Hood to Hood coming soon. I made a flyer, and I was passing them out. I put my phone number on there, and dudes from every neighborhood just start hitting me up. Come to my neighborhood and film us. And that's how it kind of started. So I started filming the documentaries, and I knew a lot of dudes that rapped. So I was like, all right, I'll shoot your video and put it on the documentary. So I was charging dudes to get on there to shoot their videos, and then some dudes I would just let freestyle. So that's kind of how I started taking it serious. I started with like the documentary first, but I didn't really know how to edit. Some of the words wasn't lining up. It was like, oh man, I was trying to do effects and stuff. Like it was cool. It turned out cool because it was beneficial for the city because I ended up getting a distribution for it. So I would just once I got the distribution, what I did is once I got the DVDs done, I like learned how to do the menus and stuff like that, make the DVD menus. I started getting into it, editing, you know what I mean? I started learning the process of it. And once I was done with it, I got a distribution. The guy at Stedford's, Upbeat, Matt at Upbeat was like, you need to call the dude who we get our DVDs from and send this to him. Send your product to him. Because I had the DVDs, Blocks, Projects, and Entertainment. I had the volume 1. I had it barcoded and everything, shrink wrapped. He's like, you need to call this distributor. It was one out of Harlem called Black Star Video, and then one in Jersey called Tape Man Inc. So I got in touch with them, and I called them up, and they was like, I was like, I got this documentary. It's about some street stuff and blah, blah, blah. They was like, all right, send us it. I sent them like one copy. And then I called them back like a week later. I was like, yeah. They was like, all right, yeah, so we'll take the documentaries off of you. We'll give you $5 off each one, and we're going to sell it for whatever. I'm like, all right, word. So I'm only thinking they're going to take like 20 or 30 or something like that. Dude from Black Star was like, send me 300. Dude from Tape Man was like, send me 200. I was like, whoa. Like at this time, I'm like,
that's
whoa.
a big deal.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, I'm making $5 off each DVD.
Yeah. But
they're getting 100 off me at time. So, and I just did volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. And then after that, I was just like, I was in a different space in my life after I did the third one. I was like, I don't want to go do all this neighborhood stuff. Because it got like negative backlash, you know what I mean? Because I'm going through hoods with dudes with guns and all types of wild stuff I'm showing in the neighborhoods. And dudes, disrespecting other neighbors. It was wild. I just kind of like got in too deep with it. But that's kind of like how I like got introduced to like film. I just started out like with like documentaries. And to date, I've did, I think 6 documentaries. So I think I've produced 6 documentaries.
That is awesome.
But that's how my introduction to film was through like a documentary from me starting off as an artist. So that's why I kind of tell people like, you might start off like this as an artist, or you might start off as the janitor, but you don't never know what you might become. You never know what you might end up doing. You know what I mean? So I never didn't really think I would be in the film, but now here I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a blessing, bro. Like it is. I've been able to make money off of film for the last 15 years, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been the camera never did me wrong, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's awesome. I mean, that you've been able to, make a profit from actually doing this, and doing it for 15 years. That's a long time. And you've definitely grown and developed in your work and your craft, because the stuff that you're doing now looks amazing. I think it looks really good.
It, man.
Whenever you initially got started, or maybe even the middle phase, what would you say was like the initial challenge or struggle in the beginning that you faced, or something that maybe frustrated you, and how did you overcome that? Because somebody may be watching right now that also maybe want to get into film, so hearing this from you, that may help them get through the process a little bit faster.
There wasn't really nobody to show you, so it was like you had to learn trial and error. But as far as like, it wasn't really a struggle for me, because I had so much energy and passion for it. And I was like, I'm not going to fail. I don't care if I put this out. Like, I just had my mind made up, like, no matter how I do this, I'm going to win. You know what I mean? I just had my mind made up. But the only thing was I didn't go to school for it. So there was certain technical stuff that to this day I still don't know. You know what I mean? It's still a learning process. You learn every day with film and photography and, everything, because technology changes. And keeping up with the technology at times when I might not have had the money to buy a new camera, and I'm still sitting on this old camera, that was like kind of a challenge sometimes at times. But other than that, it wasn't really like, because I always had to, once I get into something, I go full throttle. So I don't like sit back and just, mope, and I'm just going to make it happen regardless. So I didn't really have a lot of trials per se in film. It was just having to learn. It's this it's a learning curve. It's a learning process, because people don't understand sitting in front of a computer for 3 to 5, 20 days editing one project, or even longer, a year, because that's how long it took me to edit Pittsburgh State of Mind documentary. So that's kind of the process of not going to school and not knowing all the technical aspects of it. So I wouldn't suggest every kid go to school for film and photography, but you made some good connections. You learn some technical stuff to where it can help you. But if you're creative, you're creative. Some people have went to school and did 4 years, and you see their stuff, and it's like they don't have the creative ability. You know what I mean? And you take somebody like me who's never been to school for it, but I have the eye and have the creativity for it, and nothing can stop me. I feel that nothing can stop me in film, bro. Like, I know I'm not the best. I don't know the most about lighting. I don't know the most about audio. I'm not the best cameraman, but nothing can stop me from doing what I want to do in film. Like, period. That's just how I feel. I got my mind made up. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get it accomplished, and it's going to be good. That's just how, I just had that confidence in myself. Like, I know I'm not Steven Spielberg. I know I'm not, the best guy. I don't know everything about grip. I don't know everything about none of it. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You focus on your strengths. You know what I mean? You focus on your strengths, you'll be all right. You know what I mean? You can work on your weaknesses as you go, but focus on your strengths and you'll be all right, man. That's how I feel.
You made a good point about people that go to school and may not have the creative aspect, because for people that may not know, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh for digital film and video production, so I'm into video too. And I have the creativeness, I feel like, as well. So when going to school and seeing some people come up with different projects, it's like, why are you even in here? It's like you definitely don't have like enough creativeness to kind of come up with stuff. I mean, you can learn some of the technical stuff to kind of get you through, but I mean, if you don't have that creative mindset to begin with to come up with ideas, or if you're not passionate about trying to come up with different stuff, I mean, your stuff is just going to look mediocre or average. So that definitely brings up a good point. You definitely can make a lot of good connections for sure, and build up a lot of good relationships of people that are actually doing good work. So that's definitely a good aspect. It's definitely a good way to kind of distribute work if you're good at it, like with other people that are doing good things. So I would say from my perspective, I almost wish I didn't go to school because a lot of this stuff I definitely could have learned on my own, either through books, YouTube. Watching other people, especially in this day and age, watching YouTube videos all day of someone doing like Photoshop or how to edit. You can learn that right on YouTube alone. Get a couple books in Barnes and Nobles and learn on
Save yourself $90,000 from going to the Art Institute.
Yeah, I know, right? Tell me about it. I wish I would have known this years ago. But yeah, I mean, I would almost recommend, you could do that stuff on your own. You can make connections and stuff like that outside. But that's a good perspective though. So get a little further down the line. Whenever you started to get what are some of the great credits that you were able to get out of this, or what would you say are some of the best lessons or best experiences that you've gotten out of doing film?
The best experience, I'll tell people, man, that camera is powerful, yo. Powerful. Mm-hmm. Like what you put out is in the world damn near forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like you put something, you might have put how the media, just take the mainstream media, the news, WPXI, KDKA, how the news is intended to make black people look bad. Point blank, period.
Right.
People could say however, their whole intention is to make black men, black people in general, look bad. So it's a manipulative way they do it through the news. How you read articles from Post-Gazette, when you read the articles, how you even see the captions or the pictures of black men compared to white. So say we take a black man from the hood, he might have killed somebody. His mug shot is going to be the most messed up picture of him. But you might take a white guy who did the same thing, crime, he killed somebody. They'll show, oh, he was a good boy. They'll show a picture where he's dressed like me with his collar.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, his graduation. So it's a whole, the camera, you can manipulate people. It's like magic, bro. Like cameras are like magic, bro. Like you can manipulate shots through pictures, Photoshop. You know what I mean? They got apps where women can make their waist come, their butt come out. Like the whole camera thing is kind of evil for real if you want to use it. Right. But if you want, I choose to use it for good. You know what I mean? I can be out here being like, I'm not saying little Charlemagne the God is bad or nothing, but I could be that type of person who just critiques everything. I could just get on camera and you know what I mean? It's just certain things you can do with it, and then you can do good, you can do bad. But you can manipulate, you can take pictures and Photoshop somebody's head on it of them cheating. Like you can do so much messed up stuff to people. People don't understand how how it's evolved with cameras, bro. Like how it's manipulated and how everything's manipulated. So when you pick up a camera, just know that it's powerful. Just know what you put out into the world, it can come back to hurt you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or it can help you a lot. You know what I mean? I think people use it more for, a good use than bad. But at times you see a lot of stuff like, hold up, this story didn't even happen like that. You know what I mean? This is how it happened. But the way the news puts it out there, it's in a type of way that's like, hold up, that story didn't even happen like that. But it'll have a lot of people believing that because that's what the news put out. Right. So that's just my thing, bro. You pick up the camera, bro. Just know it got power.
Right.
A camera got power, man.
From that perspective, I mean, it's definitely the same as well. That's why I decided to get into media and get into video and all that type of stuff. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I decided to call my digital marketing agency 24-hour media, because the stuff that you put out is literally available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But media is definitely highly influential. Social media is highly influential. The videos that you put out is highly influential. The pictures, the audio, the things you write about, highly influential. And one of the things that I've just learned over time is that affects your mindset and how you look at things and how you view things and how your perspective is developed and how your beliefs are kind of maybe, enhanced, or how your attitude develops, and which ultimately leads to the actions that you take. So that's kind of some of the reasons that, I wanted to get in media, because I wanted to be able to put something positive out. Also kind of, take away that stereotype of what black men and women look like and stuff like that, and put more positive images out there.
Narrative.
Absolutely. So, from to the things that we see, the books we read, the people we associate with, the things we listen to the things we read, you know, that stuff is highly influential, and that's media pretty much in as a whole. It's communication.
Right.
How are you communicating? And you know, and we do have a huge responsibility,
right?
You know,
right.
and those that do put out great things, I highly admire. You know, I aspire to be like and emulate and things like that, just so that I can highly impact people in a positive, influential way. But what are some like good credits that you've been able to, you know, get out of doing film? I know you've been able to do the documentaries and those, like, what are some great things that came out of that you never would have thought would have happened?
Just the credit for real, to me, some of the best is nothing about financial or nothing. It's just sometimes when I go into neighborhoods, like some of these hoods, and I might see somebody and they be like, man, Ruff, man, you shot my brother 10 years ago on camera, man, I appreciate you for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was like, man, they had that footage of my brother, you know, their brother might have got killed or something like that. That's like, hits me more than like a lot of these accomplishments and stuff like that, to be able to go these places. And I might be in arts or something, and somebody's dad like, yeah, I remember when you shot that video for my son, and their son might be doing life now. So that type of stuff, you know, people appreciate that aspect of it. And just to be able to just go different places in my city and just people like, man, Ruff, what's up? You know, I'm good with that, bro. Like, I'm good at just being, like, I don't have to be like famous or, you know what I mean? Or the fame and have all them accolades and stuff like that. If that comes, it comes. I mean, I know it's going to come, you know, certain, you know, levels of accomplishments and awards and stuff like that come, you know what I mean, when you're doing the right thing. But just my people just embracing me, that's priceless, bro. Yeah. That's priceless, yo. Just having my own people embrace me. One time I was riding this lady, and at the time I was jitneying, bro. I was just jitneying for a while, and this lady, I was riding her, and she was, you know, talking about her son getting killed, and she's like, yeah, my son got killed in Garfield, and, you know, she was just talking about it, and I was like, man, I think I filmed this dude before, you know what I mean? And I was like, what was his name? And she had told me his name, and I had pulled the video up for her on YouTube. She never had seen it. And I was like, here you go, your son right here. She started crying, man. She was like, oh, I never seen this footage of my son. You know, he was a cool dude, you know what I mean? But he, you know, he ended up getting killed. But she was like, oh my God, like I never knew there was footage of my, like just showing her that. That was just something that wasn't even really that big to me, but it meant a lot. Like for her to be able to just, you know, see her son, like, you know what I mean? Like, does it have a memory of her son that was like, you know, he wasn't doing that bad on camera. Now he was just cool and chilling type thing. And she was just crying about it. That was just like something, it might be something small to somebody else, but to me, that's big. You know what I mean? That's major to me. You know what I mean? But that was like stuff like that, man. Just those type of accomplishments. I mean, I've got credits from Drugs Inc. You know what I mean? They came to Pittsburgh and did an episode called Pittsburgh Smack. I got field producer credits on that. From being in Concussion, Southpaw, Fences, being extra in those. I recently turned down Netflix to do Manhunter because they wanted me to cut my whole face off, and I was like, no, I don't want to look like a raper man. Like, I mean, because I'm like, I don't want nobody having that type of control like over how I look. You know what I mean? I'm like, black men had beards, and you know, I understand because they was like, it was based on 79 or something, the era. But I was like, man, black men had beards back then. I said, I'm not cutting my whole face off, yo. Then they had another hire lady call me, oh, you're so handsome. And I was like, listen, I'm not looking like this. I'm not going to have a bald face on my birthday. My birthday's in June. I got 3 weeks. I'm like, I'm not going to had a whole summer for 2 seconds of fame. I had to think about that. Like, really, my wife really was like, do you really want to cut your whole face off? Even they might cut the scene out and you're going to look like that the whole summer. I said, you know what, babe, you're right. Sometimes your wife tucks some sense into you. I'm like, you're right. And I'm not going to get paid that much. And I'm going to look silly the whole rest of the summer. I'm like, it's going to take a long time for me to grow my whole face back. I was like, yeah, I don't want to have a pause party. You know what I mean? Pause party. Oh, there go my left arm. You know, you be in a movie. Oh, there go my tennis shoe. You got to pause it. You know what I mean? I'm not for, you know, just having the fame aspect of it. Really don't align with what I really got going on or what I want to do. So I just turned them down, man. That was like about a week and a half ago. But I'm not really worried about like that's what I said. I don't really like worry about all the props and, you know, all that type of stuff, man. Like I said, the awards come, the great things come with it. But it's just, if I can help people and show people love and, you know, through film and do a great job for people, I'm cool with that, bro. And I can eventually when I do my films, I could be like Tyler Perry or Spike Lee or Adam Sandler, have his own people, how he put them in all their films. You know, he would have, you know, they have a lot of the same people in their films. I'm cool with that, bro. I just want to be able to help people to get out of their circumstances and better their life. You know?
So let's talk about that because you just recently shot and directed your own film. Talk to us a little bit about that, you know, of how you came up with the concept and where it's at now and where you see it going.
So I'm in the labor's union. So it was March. I had got laid off, me and like 3 other guys. The work slowed up. I was working for about 8 months. So I was in the house. It was on a Sunday. I was watching my daughter. It was just me and her in the crib. And I was just thinking like, man, if it was just me and my daughter for real, I was like, at my age, I'm 38. I'm like, this would be crazy if I was a single dad at this age. Like, just thinking about it, like, and I was just like, I'm just, you know, mess around with the camera. So I was just setting the camera up. You know, I would set it up, put it like a box there, put it in focus. So I'm like trying to put my shirt on, but I'm holding my daughter. Like stuff that single mothers do every single day. You know, trying to cook with a baby on your arm. Single mothers do this all the time. So I was just kind of messing around, like just seeing like, if I was a single dad, this would be crazy. This is like, I see, you know, how moms sometimes might be overwhelmed and, you know, you're trying to clean the house, the baby's crying, but you got to wash your hair, you know, everything that just goes on as being a single parent.
Right.
So I was just messing around with the camera and I was like trying to iron. I'm holding my baby over here, trying to iron my pants and, you know, trying to like, and I was just like, man, I should make this into like a little short film about being a single dad. And I was like, all right, I'm going to just make a little short film out of it, just me around the house with my daughter just doing stuff. And then I just start to create. That's when the creativity just start coming in, and I'm like, hold on, I'll just make it a whole little story about me being a single dad, like a whole little story, and I'm gonna just go like I'm struggling, and I just start the creativity start coming. So I just start making it about like me being a single dad and I'm struggling, I got felonies, I can't get a job. So I called my boy, I said, all right, you gonna be the guy who interviewed me for the job. I'm kind of come to a job interview, but I got to bring my daughter to the job interview because I don't have a babysitter. So I just start making up scenes as I go, and I just made up a whole story, and it was just piece by piece, and then, like it just came together as an hour movie.
Right. It
so
was like no script. You just kind of
no
going
script
on the
at
fly.
all. Everybody's scene is freestyle. Nothing is written in the whole movie. So that's why I didn't do a lot of over the 2 angle shots, because I'm like, I only had 1 camera and I was running gun. So I was running gun, set the camera up. Some parts I didn't even use my H1 for audio when I first started because I wasn't trying to make a film out of it. So some parts I just used the audio off the Sony A7S. So I just was just filming, and the more I just started creating, I was like, I'm gonna use my uncle. He's like an old head that like the young girls, and he always, you know what I mean? He's like a funny dude. So I said, I'll put him in it. Then I'll put this guy. I just start creating characters in my head and people's personalities that fit. So there was a couple times we had to do like the takeover, but it's like everybody was nailing it, man. Like I didn't have time to really do a whole bunch of retakes because there was no script.
Right.
So I couldn't shoot the reverse angle shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would shoot straight over the shoulder
pretty much
on
one
it.
take.
Yes, yeah. So it's just me and you having a conversation. I'm shooting straight over the shoulders, more focused on you. And I wanted people to like the characters and also be in tune with the story. So the story's all made up. The whole movie's made up. Everything's unscripted. And it just kind of just turned out into a whole movie, an hour movie, man. And it's right now, I got to go back. I put a lot of industry music in it, so I got to take the industry music out. The name of it's Everyday Hustle. So I put a post on Facebook. I was like, man, what should I name the movie? And people asked me what it was about. I didn't want to give the whole thing away. I was like, well, you know, this is kind of what it's about. And one of the least dudes I expected to come up with the title came up with the title, man. My boy from my neighborhood, man, he always be getting drunk and hit, but he's a cool dude, man. He came up with the title for the song, for the movie, man. And I was like, man, I'm running with it. I seen him about a week and a half ago down Arts. I was like, man, you came up with the movie title. He's like, oh, man, rough, good look, man. You know what I mean? So he came up with the movie title, Everyday Hustle. So I'm turning into a web series. Since I have a story now, I can go off of. Like I said, I was making it up as I go, and I kind of just made the story up, and it just, like the final scene is like, oh, what's next? You know what I mean? So that's why it leads into a web series now. So since I'm making it a web series, I can add more people from the city. I can structure it a little bit more now because, like I said, I wasn't intending it as being this whole feature film. So now I can structure it now moving forward, probably do 20, 30-minute episodes of a web series so I can incorporate a lot of different people in the city and places and stuff like that. So I see it going somewhere pretty far, man. Once, you know what I mean, if the marketing and promotion goes right, you know, I'm in the process of trying to, you know, find some different marketers, promoters to kind of put it out there, just a teaser. I got the trailer done. I'll show you the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I got the trailer done, and the trailer's dope, man. It's dope, man.
That's what's up.
It's dope. I end up finding how to do trailers. Like, I subscribed to something one time on Facebook, and this guy, like some Hollywood dude, he does trailers. And he emailed me 3 videos on how to do, like, movie trailers.
Really?
And it was dope, bro. And it changed my whole way to kind of edit. Yeah, it changed my whole perspective of editing. I mean, you got 15 tracks of just audio. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
all types of sounds. Boom, coming in, coming out. So I was able to do the trailer, and the trailer, everybody who watched the trailer that I showed so far, they like,
yeah, it's
I
dope.
definitely want to watch this movie.
Yeah,
you know
dope.
what I mean? So I see it getting out there, man. I see it being something good for the city of Pittsburgh too. You know what I mean? It got his hood parts to it. It got his serious parts to it. It got his funny parts to it. It got the aspect of being a black man and being a father. And I just made it up, man. It's just creativity, bro. That's what I said. Like, you never know. Like I said, I wrote movies, though. I wrote a movie about jitneys in Pittsburgh. I did a casting call for it and everything, but I didn't have the budget to shoot it. So there was times I wrote another movie called Trial by Error. I got another movie like in development, but this one I just went out and created. You know, all these other ones I was like, oh man, I got to get a budget. And you know what I mean? Like, stressing to really make it happen, these other films, but this one I just went out and created. I knew the film wasn't perfect. I wasn't trying to make it perfect, but I wanted to do it. Like, no one cannot tell me nothing. I shot my own film, bro.
Right.
With no storyline, no budget. I didn't have no budget, no story. I spent at the most $100 total on the whole film. So I didn't have no storyline, no budget, and I shot my own film. You can't tell me ish.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I did it. I went out and did it, bro, and I accomplished that, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
For that. Like, because all the other years I was trying to, I got to get this big budget, and, you know, you think you got to do all this, but sometimes you just got to go out and do it. Like, and just go. As you go, you can fix your mistakes. You can correct stuff. I could go back now and fix a lot of scenes and stuff like that. I know the film's not perfect because I do film. I know there's a lot of scenes like, I could have shot this a lot better. Oh, the audio's a little bit off, but so what? I'm putting it out, and I'm going to put this content out, and people's going to receive it how they receive it. You know, and I'm going to let them know at the end, this movie had no budget, so you could critique it all you want. It had no budget. There was no story, and I just went out and did it. So now it's in the web series phase.
That's what's up.
So hopefully before the summer's out, I can do the release for it. I just, as soon
Like
as
you
I
wanna
get
do a
this music.
premiere.
Yeah, I'm going to do a premiere for it. And I don't know what theater I want to use, because when I did Pittsburgh State of Mind documentary, I used Southside Works movie theater. I premiered that there in 2015. So that was a documentary I did with Pittsburgh artists, and I premiered that there. So I don't know where I want to premiere it at. I might want to do the August Wilson Center or something like that.
Okay.
You know, let people come free, or, you know, $5 or something. I'm not trying to get rich off, you know what I mean, off of it. I just want people to come, be able to enjoy the film, because I got a lot of people in the city in it. You know what I mean? Let them be able to see themselves in the film. You know what I mean? Because the people in it did a great job, man. Nobody had no act. I didn't get no actors. These was just all regular people from the neighborhoods and from the city that never act before, and they did a great job, man. I'm telling you, bro. When people watch it, like, oh man, she did great, he did good, I like him. You know, people's going pulled in the different characters. They're going to like the different characters outside of liking me. You know what I mean? You're going to like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Well, I'm definitely you getting me excited for it. Like,
right. I'm proud of it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
we proud of you. Like,
yeah.
and you showed me the trailer before, and like I told you before, I thought it looked good. I really thought it looked good. So, like I said, you getting me excited for it. So I'm really looking forward to see it whenever it does come out. So, you know, going into the future, like, because you got a very bright future with this going ahead. You already have a great future with it, or a past with it. Where do you see yourself going with this in maybe like the next 2 to 5 years?
Next 2 to 5 years with film, I see myself just putting out movies, man. Producing movies, directing movies, helping on films. You know what I mean? It ain't always about me just being, I got to sit in the director chair and help. I don't have no problem being the guy that holds the reflector. Like I don't have them type of ego issues. Like most likely I won't be that guy, but at the end of the day, if my friends got a film, bruh, can you come help me on a film? Just putting out these films and being able to let people from the city, let people see Pittsburgh for once. We always got to conform to what New York is like and what LA is like and what, Detroit's like, Houston, all these cities. Let people see what Pittsburgh's like. I want to do films here in Pittsburgh to people see how we talk, how we live from a black people's perspective. Because they shoot a lot of films here, but it's never nothing that the black people really can connect with. Or, we don't really connect with these films because it's not telling our story. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to tell our stories, had the good, the bad, be able to tell our stories in film, and I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to get my movie, Jitney movie, because Jitney is a Pittsburgh thing. You know what I mean? August Wilson got the play Jitney from back in the day, but mine's is a more modern, I wrote a movie about jitneys in Pittsburgh, so that's another one I have to get off the ground. So I just want to get these films together, and I just want to be able to just put people in position to win and make money. You know what I mean? Ultimately, because we all got to eat, we all got to make money. I want to be able to put my friends, my family, my brothers, like whoever in position, like MC Hammer, but don't go broke doing it. You know? Like for real, because people could say what they want about Hammer. He hired his whole neighborhood. He went broke doing it. He didn't go about it the right way at the time. But, okay, well, I got a movie. All right, well, the stylist, okay, I got this black lady who can do all the makeup. Okay, I got my man. He could do all the haircuts. You know what I mean? I want my films to be, because when I go to these movie sets, and I'm looking at these crews, it's 600 people on a movie set, 2 of them's black.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, what's going on here? You know what I mean? When I was in Fences now, Denzel made sure there was a lot more black people working on the set. But when you go to these movie sets, it's 2 or 3 black people in that union. But I want to create my own to where I have a lot of my people in position to make money. Okay, well, she's just do the set design. She does this. He does this. You know what I mean? I won't have I don't think I'll have 100% black people, but I want to be able to put my people
as many as possible
in position to win, just the same way white people do it, bro. It's no different. You know what I mean?
That's
black economics.
Absolutely.
Black empowerment.
Absolutely. And then as we get closer to wrapping up, where is the best place that people can contact you? And then also, what's a 24-hour challenge that you would propose to the audience that they can, effectively start doing within the next 24 hours whenever they watch this episode that they can actually, go forth with? So where's the best place for people to contact you, and what's the 24-hour challenge?
The best place to contact me is Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram is J White Digital Media. So just all one word. You probably can hashtag Rough Bone, and then my page will probably come up from that too. I used to just have the name Rough Bone on there, but I started a new company, J White Digital Media. And then on Facebook is James S. White. So they made me change my name. They locked me out of my Facebook about 1.5 years ago. I didn't know. They was like, put your real name in, and I put my real name because I just had Rough Bone on there, J Rough Bone White.
Okay.
And they made me put my real name, James S. White. So on Facebook it's James S. White on Facebook.
While you talking, I'm going to cut that off real quick because we're not editing this stuff out, so I'm going to just exit that out. You keep talking, though.
All right. So for a 24-hour hustle for somebody to do, I say the next 24 hours, set 5 to 10 small goals for yourself and go out and do them. So it might be, I want to get this book. You know what I mean? I want to pay this bill. I want to catch up on some tutorials or something. Just find some time to write down 5 small goals. You can write some long-term goals down, but 5 to 10 small goals that you can accomplish in the next 24 hours. Because sometimes when you write stuff down and you see it on paper, it's always better, bro. It's always better when you see your goals and then you could go back and check them off. Like I got stuff from last year that I wrote down from like 2017, 2016, like notes in my phone. And when I go back and I could check some of it off, like, man, I did that. I did that too. You know what I mean? I did this too. Oh, I still got to do this. I ain't making that $250,000 a year like I want. You know
not yet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a goal of mine. You know what I mean? Like whatever, it ain't that, oh, you might want to be a multi-millionaire, something that you would feel comfortable with, a goal that you feel comfortable with. But just, I think, setting a few small goals, 5 to 10 small goals that you could probably accomplish in the next 24 hours. It might just be jogging. You know, I might want to go jog a mile. You know what I mean? Some small goals, stuff that you can accomplish. So I think that would be something for people to do.
Absolutely. Well, that's good stuff. Well, definitely appreciate you coming on to the show, man. Definitely glad we got the opportunity to do this.
It was great, man. It was great, man.
Absolutely.
I'm usually behind the camera, you know. I'm a talker though, man. So, but I don't get a chance to talk, you know, as much. So, but it was definitely a great, man. Great for bringing me on, man. 24-hour hustle show, man. It's a blessing, bro. I definitely appreciate you, man. Much respect, much love, and success, man. And your cameraman back there, man, he doing his thing, man. He got a nice setup. We had a nice conversation before, you know. We even went on air. So, man, this is a great thing, man. Keep doing what you're doing for the city, for yourself, and keep putting on for the city, man.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Well, we love you. We appreciate all the things that you're doing. We definitely see a bright future for you, and we're definitely going to be keeping in touch for sure. I feel like we're going to be collabing on something in the future.
We definitely will, man.
There's going to be something coming down.
We're going to make something creative happen, man.
Absolutely.
The creative juices start flowing, man. You start coming up with ideas, and sky's the limit, man. Everything starts from one idea, bro. People understand that. Like, one idea can make you a multi-millionaire. One idea can have you sitting somewhere where you never thought. So all it takes is one idea, man, and acting on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And putting steps forward to make that idea into whatever you wanted it to be. So
yeah. Well, that's a good way to wrap up because that's some good insight right there. But yeah, so now that we know what Jay does with his 24 hours, we want to know what you do with your 24 hours. Definitely comment down below if you accepted that challenge. Definitely make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.